So all our projects that we are trying to do, first the dictionary, and then many architectural projects in the camp together with refugees, understanding if we think that that the refugee camps is the new common of the world, is the new way where people are self-organizing themselves without the state. They are feeling a community without necessarily, having a sovereign state that would control them. And what we feel is that what is happening normally is that the state is, turning us into numbers, because you are a number in the city. You don't feel that the public spaces are yours to a certain extent. No, it is controlled fully by the municipality, and you are an individual. And to be a collective within now and today's cities is a very difficult thing. We are seeing a lot. All what we see is coming also out of the difficulty of looking at our public spaces as owned by us. And I will give you one example that was so inspiring for us in Cairo, in Maidan al-Tahrir. Arabs are were all the time accused by being people that, would not take care about their homes would be so clean, but in the outside they threw garbage, they don't care, it's a dirty place. This is what all the time, and you go in Cairo and it's so dirty. And if you would reflect upon, the problem is that the public spaces was in the mind of the people, the regime, the Egyptian regime. It was something that they inside hated. They were not belonging to. Why should they take care of a place that does not belong to them? And actually, if we would look at Maidan al-Tahrir, and when people begin to own this public space, they turn it immediately into a common place that they begin to clean it. For us, the moment of cleaning this place was a crucial moment of transforming this place from being public owned by the state into being the place that, the people owned, by being the space that it's owned. And then the first act they did is that they begin to clean the place. They begin to take care of the place. So this was for us so inspiring, to the fact that we thought that the whole camp is all a common. And if we would look at it as owned by the people, which are the practices that are going there, and in which way we could turn this into artistic and architectural representation, for us is a very big question now, in which way we could look at it, and together, engaging together with the people, we would create new forms of representation. We are still in the process, but what I can see that there is really a lot of things going on, a lot of things that might be really possible, that we will arrive to representing the camp in a different way.
Okay, last question, Sandi. This was very clear, but what happens if someone invites you to have an exhibition anywhere else in the world? How would you represent this in a just classical and traditional exhibition space?
Yes, but actually we did it in Nottingham, and but it was one of our projects about, we worked in the Palestinian parliament. There is this, I will tell you the project so you can understand how we represent at least this as DAR before, but then representation is not an issue. For me, the process is the most important things, and then it will become by default the kind of way to represent it. But we take this example of the Palestinian parliament. It was a parliament that was built in the adjacent part of Jerusalem on the border, and the problem is that it was half in Jerusalem, half outside Jerusalem, and there was this border that is not belonging to anybody. And because of this situation and of the crisis, this building was never functioning. It was the whole collapsing of the whole idea of the state. If you would look at the idea of the state, you would see this building as the manifestation of the collapsing of any idea of state building in Palestine. And here our main question is, would Palestine be the last state that would be built, or would Palestine be the laboratory in order to create new ways of living this world? So this parliament building was for us, and actually what we did is that we look at this line that cut this parliament into two between Jerusalem, because Palestine is full of borders, full of lines, So we look at this line and we clean the only place. It was full of dust, this parliament building, and the whole idea of the parliament building representing only West Bank and Gaza, and even not Gaza, only West Bankers, people that are living in the in West Bank. It was crucial for us to understand how, again, the culture of exile would come into this parliament, because without the culture of exile, this parliament would not function. So what we did is that we cleaned this line that for us represents the culture of exile, where it is without law, because what's really interesting is that whenever they designed all the maps in Palestine, they gave law to everything except for the line itself. There is no, it's a lawless line. No, there is no law of the state on this line. And as if the only place that is free without law and that is lawless is this line. So we took this line that represents the whole idea of the culture of exile and how this could be combined to, and we take it one-to-one to Nottingham. Now, we built it in the city of Nottingham, and the whole assembly that we did in Nottingham discussing all what I already mentioned took place on this line, no? And people were able to see this, were able to recognize it. So in each, we are very much, I have to say, site-specific people. We don't have our own, piece of art that would go and travel everywhere, and it's not our way of working. We do not have, what we do is that we are maybe because we are also a lot in architects in our formation, we normally would love to engage with the space where we are doing our exhibitions and the space where we are working. So it's never for us something that is traveling from one place to another. Without being totally engaged with the place, we are not able to work. It's not, we cannot find any motivation in order to do so, because for us the challenge is how to be engaged with the place we are working in.